Assalamu alaikum, dears, how are you? Energy, energy, and energy. I'm talking about the human energy. Do you know what types of human energies do we have in us? There are four types of energies. The number one energy, it is the spiritual one, the most important of all the energies. It is not the physical or the mental one. It is a spiritual energy. The second most important energy in the humans, it is the emotional energy. The third most important energy in the humans, it is the mental energy. And then after all three, there is a fourth type of energy, and we are well aware about it. That is called physical energy. So it means that a human being have four aspects of our personality: spiritual, emotional, mental, and of course physical one. So my dear friends, we need to pay attention to all of these four. Although some of us are more focused upon physical energy, and of course, because to be able to strive on a daily basis, we need to have a lot of physical energy as well as the mental one. But we are incomplete if at all we are unable to understand and unable to develop the spiritual aspect of our personality. So there are certain other types of people, they have made it a most important subject in their life, and that most important subject for them, it is the spirituality. It does matter and matter a lot. So for that reason and purpose, we have made it a topic of our discussion today. We will talk about the spirituality in the next few minutes, and that's how, it will be quite enlightening. It will be quite enlightening for all the people, I think, because spirituality matters and matters a lot. So let's begin with the technical definition of the spirituality. What is spirituality? Spirituality is a personal journey to connect with something greater than oneself. Spirituality is a personal journey to connect with something greater than oneself, like, it is seeking meaning and purpose and inner peace, seeking meaning and purpose and inner peace. So that matters a lot really. Now we are going to talk about what are the key aspects of spirituality. There are certain aspects of spirituality which are extremely important and which can be called the pillars of spirituality. So these are only 5 in number. First of all, it is connection to the higher power. What is connection to the higher power? What could be the higher power? It is nature, it is universe, and of course it is God. For the religious people, it is God, and we Muslims call it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is the first key aspect of spirituality. The second is self-awareness and introspection. Self-awareness. We are trying to be aware about the world, about the other people, and that is quite okay. But at the same time, we need to be quite aware about ourselves as well. So that is the self-awareness and introspection as well. We need to peep inside our own mind and heart. We need to look deeply inside our own mind, inside our own heart, and inside our own experiences. So that is called introspection. Self-awareness and introspection is the second key aspect of spirituality. And the third one, it is the mindfulness and presence. Mindfulness and presence. Something extremely important, because mindfulness and presence can bring a huge amount of change in our life. So what is the mindfulness? Technically speaking, mindfulness means a state of mind achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations, but all that without judgment. So it is the mindfulness and presence. The fourth key aspect of spirituality is compassion and empathy. So empathy, we need to be empathetic. What is this empathy, by the way? Trying to understand other people by putting ourselves into their shoes so that we are better able to understand the kind of circumstances they are going in and the kind of situation they are facing, the kind of thinking, the kind of thoughts and feelings they will be having. So that is the best possible way to be able to understand other people. It is, compassion and empathy. The fifth and the last key aspect of spirituality is gratitude and appreciation. We need to appreciate the people. If at all they are doing any of the good thing, any of the positive thing, either for they themselves, their loved ones, or for the general public, we need to appreciate them, and it is the gratitude. Gratitude is extremely important, and we need to adopt the attitude of gratitude. The gratitude says that instead of criticizing other people, instead of keep blaming other people, instead of keep finding fault in other people, instead of being negative, it is far better to look upon our life and think whatever is available to me, not to focus upon what is lacking in my life. Rather, we need to concentrate and focus upon what I am possessing. Even the smaller thing should not be taken for granted at all, should not be ignored at all. We need to be grateful. We need to say praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for every small thing we are having, and that is the only possible way invented till now if at all we want to become a happy person. So these are the 5 key aspects of spirituality, and that was the step number 1. Step number 2 is being a spiritual person. Being a spiritual person, what if at all somebody want to become a spiritual person? So there are 5 important things, 5 basic things. The first one is that is lives with intention and purpose. Not to live without a purpose. There must be a great cause, there must be a purpose in the life, and if at all we are living without the purpose, it actually means we are nothing different than the animals. So we need to live with a purpose. We need to live with for a great cause, for a purpose. The second is practices self-care and self-love. If at all we are going to talk about the care about other people, we need to love ourselves, and we need to take care of ourselves as well. So self-care is very important. What are the basics of self-care? We need to sleep some 7 to 8 hours of every night. We need to provide ourselves with a proper nutrition, and of course we need to do the physical exercises on a regular basis. So these are the basics of, and of course there are stress releasing exercises like meditation, yoga, or others. So that is self care, and it is the second important item in being a spiritual person. And the third is cultivates inner peace and calm. Cultivation of inner peace and calm. We need to practice, we need to do everything else we can for the purpose of cultivating the inner peace and the calm. And the fourth point for a spiritual person, it is embracing impermanence and change. Nothing is permanent here in this life. Whatever was available to us yesterday, it might not be available today, and whatever the circumstances are today, it will not be tomorrow. So there is impermanence, and we need to accept it wholeheartedly. We need to embrace it, that we need to embrace it totally, that impermanence and the change is something which is the only permanent in the life. The fifth and the last point for a spiritual person, it is seek growth and personal evolution. Seeking growth and seeking personal evolution. Everybody need to keep growing throughout their life. We need to keep growing, and if at all we stop growing, it means something very bad to us, and we need to keep growing for all the life. As long as we are alive, we need to keep learning, we need to keep growing, and we need to keep evolving personally. We need to keep evolving. Personal evolution, extremely important. So these are the 5 important points for everybody who want to become a spiritual person, and anybody who is claiming to be a spiritual person. We need to look into the life if at all the 5 of these things are there to be seen or not. The next step, it is the spiritual practices, and these are 5 simple spiritual practices. Number 1, it is the meditation and prayer. It is the meditation and prayer. We need to meditate, we need to say the prayer, we need to say the salah. We Muslim, we say the salah 5 times a day, and that is something very important. It is the meditation and the prayer. And the second is the yoga and the mindfulness. Yes, yoga and the mindfulness. Mindfulness means being present and calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings and thoughts, bodily sensations, but all that without judgment, without calling it good or bad. So that is the second practice. The third is journaling and reflection. We need to reflect back whatever I did was the right thing to do or not. So we need to reflect back. And journaling, it is very important. What is journaling? We need to keep writing our thoughts, our emotions, our bodily sensation, our experiences, and then of course lastly when we reflect upon our experiences, whatever comes to our mind, we need to keep writing it, not for the purpose of saving it for the whole of the life. Rather, you can save if you want to, but you need to destroy it if you want to. Simply the purpose is to provide ourselves with the clarity on the one hand, and catharsis, the much needed catharsis on the other hand. So it is the journaling and reflection. The fourth spiritual practice is nature, connection with the nature. We need to stay connected to the nature. Spare a little bit of the time and go away from the human development. Stop being online, stop being on grid, go off grid, live without all the modern gadgets, all the facilities for some of the time, staying connected to the nature. So that is the fourth important practice of spirituality. The fifth and the last is service to others. We need to serve the other people. We need to be as good to other people as it is possible. So that is the fifth and the last practice of spirituality. Now we need to, the last step is that what are the spiritual values. There are 5 spiritual values, and these are: number 1, it is love and kindness. We need to be a loving person, we need to be a kind-hearted person for other people. So the second spiritual value is forgiveness and compassion and be kind-hearted, and then of course forgive other people. If at all, many of the people are found saying that why to forgive somebody when they have done so much of the bad to me. I think we need to forgive, not for those people, but for we ourselves, because if we don't forgive other people, there remains a lot of burden upon our mind that, if at all we want to release this burden, so what is needed is that we must be forgiving other people. It has a lot of psychological importance. And then of course the third is humility and gratitude. We need to be grateful on the one hand, and it is the humility, it is the modesty. Stop bragging, stop being arrogant, stop insulting other people, stop being rude to other people. Rather be humble. And humility, that is the very important indeed spiritual practice. And the fifth and the fourth spiritual practice is authenticity and honesty. Being authentic, being honest, not never lie. Stop lying, start speaking the truth on the one hand, and of course being a genuine person. Don't be an impersonator, don't try to pose, do not try to adopt the fake style, do not try to imitate other people. Be a genuine person. So that is authenticity and honesty. The fifth and the last spiritual value is inner peace and harmony. We need to develop the inner peace. We need to develop in ourselves. So today, dear friends, we have spoken about the spirituality, the different important aspects of the spirituality, what is meant by a spiritual person, what are the spiritual practices, and of course, what are the spiritual values. Spirituality, it is the least known subject, and it was really very important for us to talk about and to elaborate it and to divulge all the important things relating the spirituality. So I think we spoke in length. If at all there is anything else, I will be more than happy to share it with you as well. Thank you very much.